How did things go today in terms of kind of giving you an inkling of what will be happening when you take these hearings on the road around the state?
Well, it's the best 8 hours I've spent in the legislature so far, and considering how much there needs to be looked at in improving state government and the urgency for it given the recession. So I thought it was a really good public hearing. Everything I've heard from Republicans and Democrats, members and staff, that this is a really good beginning, and there's some real enthusiasm about we might actually be able to do some meaningful changes and reforms that would improve state government. I don't think anyone denies that we can do a better job, and the public's perception of us is a reality. That's part of why we're doing it. It's part of the democratic process. But the real reason is all the members know, and I think all the staff knows here, that we really have to take a good internal inspection about the jobs we're doing, and that's what we're doing.
And that's something that obviously is top of mind right now with some of the recent polling. Do you think that the low approval ratings for not just the legislature as a whole, but also the governor and governments in general in the state, is an advantage or a disadvantage to be doing what you're doing right now?
No, I think it's an advantage. It's just human nature. It's not a good part of human nature that we tend to look at change most aggressively when we're in crisis. And been a lot of quotes about, never waste a good crisis, whether you attribute that to Rahm Emanuel or others. But it's just human nature. And I feel fortunate that I'm here during this time. I would prefer to be here because I've known for a long time in local government, now being here, that there are structural, systemic roadblocks to us doing the best job we can. And the public may not know the specificity or the detail, but they intuitively get it, that we're not doing a good job. And there are reasons for that, and it's not just individual members, because when you go back home, they're happy with us, almost all in our individual district. But we have serious systemic cultural problems in the state government that we can improve upon, and we really have to.
But that's a huge elephant in the room. How do you get your arms around that whole thing? Do you just have to systematically parse things out? Or?
I think we can. The good news is, in this instance, others have been through this before. I mean, the good news for California is we have historically been such a good environment in terms of our economy that it's hidden a lot of our management shortfalls. So we know other states have done performance-based budgeting. We know other countries who we compete with have done a better job in terms of distributing services and how they use taxes and revenue. So all of those things, we can look at the uniqueness of California, but we can also use information from other states and other countries who've gone through this multiple times, because they don't have the robust education, climate, and economy that California's had.
Is there one or two particular elements of looking at across-the-board reform and governance that you think really stand out and really should be a priority to try and grapple with?
Well, I think the biggest thing, obviously, is the budget. We have to do a better job with the budget. We have to spend more time on it, and part of that is providing oversight, being the guardians of the public's investment in government, and making sure that the system is working at its optimum, knowing that government doesn't work like a private business, nor should it, but it can learn a lot of things from the private enterprise. So all of those things, we're going to do a better job on the budget. We're in a crisis mode. We think we've done a good job with the budget given the severity of the situation and the structural roadblocks to doing the job we have to do. But if we can start eliminating some of those roadblocks, being more open with the public, providing more oversight, providing more measurable benchmarks and outcomes so it's not based on political ideology, all of those things I think are doable in the next 3 to 6 months, which will change how we govern in California significantly.
And after this initial hearing, is there one or two things that really stand out to you as far as the testimony that you received from the experts?
What stands out to me more from my colleagues and from the experts is that serving California taxpayers, serving Californians who use services and use them a lot, the interests of the people who actually perform the services, the employees, all of those interests in what they want are not mutually exclusive. They're the same thing, and they're what Republicans want and Democrats want. We want to make government work as best it can for Californians, all Californians. And that's a good thing, and that's what we should be focusing on. How, in the limited time we're here in Sacramento, can we make California government and local government, to the degree we partner with them, more efficient in their delivery of services? That helps everybody.